Hi, I'm Margaret, and welcome to Garden School. The other day I was looking at my pole beans that are growing up outside of my little greenhouse, and I noticed a lot of little brown bugs. Actually, they weren't that little. They were about the size maybe of a dime, and they were brown, and they didn't smell good. Those were the brown marmorated stink bug. That bug is a true bug, and it does a lot of damage to fruit crops, many different kinds of fruit crops in the United States. It's an import, well, actually it's not an intentional import, but it is from Asia. It's native to Asia, but now it is in the United States. I think it was first identified in Pennsylvania, maybe a decade or 15 years ago, something like that. Well, now it's found on the West Coast also, and even up here in the Puget Sound area, I've seen them. So let's talk a little bit about the brown marmorated stink bug. And what does marmorated mean anyway? So this guy seems to be kind of camera shy, but that is a brown marmorated stink bug. It is a true bug, and it's here on my high bush American cranberry. There you go. You can see the body shape is kind of like a shield. Well, marmorated means marbled. Now, why they don't call them brown marbled stink bugs, I can't tell you. Oh, there it goes down into the foliage. But marmorated means marbled. So what kind of damage does this bug do? Well, the kind of damage that it does, it pierces fruit or a fruiting body and sucks out the juices inside that fruit. It could be a berry, it could be an apple, a bean, a tomato, and then in its saliva are some compounds that cause damage to the tissue. And can also be a pathway for other pathogens, bacteria, and other kinds of things. So you might get some secondary things going on after the initial damage caused by the bug. Now, on these berries, on the high bush cranberry, I don't think I'm gonna see a whole lot of damage. We might see some shriveling or something like that. But on some fruits, like an apple, or even, I guess an apple, it can cause something called cat facing. So you can look up some pictures of that on the internet and find out what that damage might look like. So why am I seeing so many of these things now? It's September. I think I probably started to notice them about the end of August. Well, this is the time that the young are now in their adult stage. The adult insect will lay eggs, and when they hatch into a nymph, and that nymph goes through 5 instars. An instar is a stage of development where they're a small beetle or bug, and then they get bigger and bigger at each stage of that. So now is the time when I'm seeing those young that are now developed into adults, and they're doing some damage, a little bit of damage here. It is the middle of September. But they also will want to come into your house or into your shed, someplace that's warm as the weather starts getting cooler. That might be a problem for some people, but there are some things you can do about that. So if you notice them coming into your home, probably the best thing to do is just to physically remove them. They can make a stink
a stinky smell. Some people are quite offended by it. Also, when you smash them or squish them, the same thing will happen. You'll get that stinky smell. I've even heard that or read that if you vacuum them up with a vacuum cleaner, that smell might stay with your vacuum for a little bit.
So as the weather gets cooler and you notice them trying to come into your home, check your windows, your window screens, try and close those little gaps to avoid having them come in. Try and physically remove them, just toss them outside. They'll find a place outside to be. It's not recommended to use insecticides in your home on these, and I'm not going to recommend using insecticides at all on them because the insecticides will kill other beneficial insects, and including the native stink bugs that we have. Now, some researchers are doing some work on using parasitic wasps, but parasitic wasps, there's some hesitation on that because the parasitic wasps will also do a number on the native stink bugs and the other kind of bugs, true bugs that we have. We want to encourage the natives. We don't want them to run rampant through our cultivated areas or even our native areas. But it's something to consider when you're trying to figure out how to control them. First, eliminate the access into your home. Keep them outside if possible. If you find dead ones, you can easily vacuum those up, sweep those up, and just dump them out. Anyway, that is the brown marmorated stink bug. It seems like it's here to stay.
That looks like a smaller one. It's not quite dime size, so perhaps that's one that hasn't reached its 5th instar or its adult stage.
Well, it seems like the brown marmorated stink bugs prefer the American highbush cranberry berries to the green beans. At least today they do. That's fine. I'm just going to watch for them if they're coming into the house. I don't want them in the house. I don't like the way they smell. Now, some people might be sensitive to a bite from them. That's what I've read. It's not a big bite for sure. I mean, these are bugs, so they have a piercing kind of apparatus in which they would pierce a fruit or a berry, and then that's how they do their damage. Well, the brown marmorated stink bug. Marmorated, vocabulary word meaning marbled, and it's a true bug. Not all of what we call bugs are true bugs. Well, there's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.